In this explainer, we're taking a massive step back in time to an incredibly powerful moment in history. We're looking at a rare, live lecture delivered way back in 1963 by the legendary author Napoleon Hill. Decades after his work on personal achievement literally shook the world, Hill took the stage to reveal the absolute bedrock of his philosophy. And what's truly fascinating is the origin story he shared that day. He revealed that he actually wrote his masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, while living inside the White House during 1933. Think about that for a second. This was the absolute peak of the Great Depression. It was an intensely negative environment, completely filled with national despair and economic collapse. Yet, it was precisely within that pressure cooker of negativity that Hill proved it is entirely possible to maintain unshakable focus and positivity. He didn't just study success from afar, he engineered a mental shield to protect it.
So, let's dive into this structured playbook and see exactly how Hill categorizes these really dense philosophical concepts into practical, everyday actions. We're going to walk through 5 key areas: the positive mental attitude, conditioning your mind, the alchemy of failure, your invisible guides, and finally, the 12 great riches. All right, Section 1, the positive mental attitude.
To really get started here, we have to move past the cliché. We need to define what Hill actually means by a positive mental attitude, or PMA. Because today, let's be honest, we often confuse positivity with just pasting a fake smile on our faces or indulging in passive, wishful thinking. But Hill's definition? It is a deliberate construct. He defines it as a state of mind actively created and maintained by methods of your own choice, operating through sheer willpower. It requires a definite purpose, a burning desire, and what Hill calls applied faith. This isn't just sitting around hoping things get better. It's a mechanical, deliberate tool that you actively wield. Hill pointed out that everyone has a whole flock of idle wishes, but a true PMA elevates that desire to the plane of focused action. You are literally taking complete possession of your own mind.
And I think this brilliantly illustrates Hill's cognitive contrast between negativity and positivity. He used this very simple yet enduring metaphor, the donut. So a negative mind only sees the whole, right? The lack, the problem, the missing piece. But a positive mind sees the whole, sure, but it also sees the donut around the whole. Notice that a positive mental attitude doesn't delusionally ignore the problem. The whole is still very much there. It just simply maintains a wider, much more productive perspective focusing on the substance rather than the void.
Moving right along to Section 2, Conditioning Your Mind.
Look, having a positive attitude is one thing, but weaponizing it for actual success in the real world, that requires active conditioning. To prove this, Hill shared the really astounding case study of businessman W. Clement Stone. Stone didn't just rely on having a good product, he trained his roughly 2,000 salesmen in the art of mental conditioning. He taught them to positively condition their own minds first, firmly believing that their mental vibrations would actually go ahead of them and positively affect the prospective buyer long before conversation even started. And the result? Stone grew his personal wealth from $3 million to over $100 million. That is wild. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that you cannot successfully teach, sell, or inspire while you're sitting in a negative state. Which brings us to a foundational rule. During the 1940s, Hill wrote over 3,000 positive mottos for the industrialist R.G. Letourneau. But this one simple idea stands out way above the rest. A negative mind spawns only negative ideas. According to Hill, out of all the facts he examined in his entire life, the absolute most fabulous and far-reaching is that the Creator gave human beings complete control over only one thing, and that is their mind. We can't control the economy, we can't control the weather, we definitely can't control other people. But we have absolute dominion over whether we use our own thinking positively or negatively. That brings us to Section 3, the alchemy of failure.
Keeping a positive mind is super easy when everything is going your way, right? The real test is what you do when the floor completely falls out from under you. Hill states, "Fear is only faith in reverse gear." I absolutely love this aphorism because it completely anchors his belief that the energy you spend terrified of a bad outcome is the exact same energy you could use to guarantee a good one. It's literally just running in the wrong direction. Hill insisted there is a precise method by which you can transmute failure into success, poverty into riches, and sorrow into joy.
So, how do you actually pull this off? Well, there's a chronological reframing technique. Step 1, when failure overtakes you, immediately start treating the circumstances as a success in your imagination. Just flip it. Step 2, let a little time elapse to let those initial wounds heal. And step 3, relentlessly search for the seed of an equivalent benefit. Hill believed the Creator is so perfectly balanced that nothing is ever taken away from you without an equal or greater benefit being made available in return. It might be totally hidden at first, but the potential is always there if you're willing to look for it. But to do this successfully, you have to fiercely guard against the enemies of a positive mind. Hill lists the major culprits for us. First up, worries over a lack of money, which can pull the rug out from under you faster than just about anything else. Second is unrequited love. And Hill actually humorously applies the streetcar rule here. If you miss one streetcar, don't despair. Just stand by the side of the line long enough and another one is bound to come along. Third is intolerance, which is just a poison you simply cannot afford to carry around. And finally, greed. Hill had met the wealthiest men in America, and he warned that greed constantly outruns reasoning. His personal motto was, not too much, not too little, just exactly enough to maintain a well-balanced life.
Okay, Section 4, your invisible guides.
Now, what's really interesting to me about Hill's unique mental exercises is how much they mirror early forms of cognitive behavioral conditioning. These are strategies widely used by top CEOs and elite athletes today. For instance, he prescribed a very specific daily habit, the bathroom mirror exercise. Every single evening before going to bed, he instructs you to literally stand before a mirror and enthusiastically compliment yourself out loud for having already accomplished the things you desire to do tomorrow, and you don't stop until you are entirely convinced. Why do this? Because nature has a funny way of delivering exactly what you deeply expect. If you go to sleep expecting defeat, well, nature's not going to disappoint you. But if you demand and expect success, nature will align to deliver that instead. To really support this expectation, Hill utilized an eccentric but highly effective visualization technique. He imagined a literal army of 10 invisible guides, each assigned a specific duty to maintain his well-being. It's like a mental boardroom. He had a guide for physical health, financial prosperity, peace of mind, hope, faith, romance to keep him young at heart, wisdom, persistence, and finally, this is my favorite, a roving ambassador he named Norm Hill to handle any unassigned problems. By compartmentalizing his needs into these guides, he effectively cleared his own mind of worry and delegated his anxieties straight to his subconscious. But, as you might guess, these guides don't work for free. To keep this mental army active, the ultimate and only required payment is expressing deep gratitude. Hill noted a really profound realization about prayer and mindset. Most people only pray or express desire when they are in an absolute emergency, desperately asking to be bailed out. He learned that the only way to truly condition the mind is to express thanks for the blessings you already possess long before the emergency ever hits. Gratitude is literally the fuel for future success.
Which brings us to our final part today, Section 5, the 12 Great Riches.
This entire framework ultimately culminates in life's ultimate rewards. But there is a massive misconception here. Everyone desires wealth, but most people drastically misunderstand what enduring riches actually look like, assuming it just begins and ends with cold hard cash. Napoleon Hill explicitly mapped out exactly 12 great riches, and I want you to know their order is entirely intentional.
Let's walk through this pyramid of success. Look at the very top, row number 1, a positive mental attitude. It stands at the undisputed head of the list. Following that, we have sound physical health, harmony in human relations, freedom from fear, hope, applied faith, a willingness to share, engaging in a labor of love, an open mind, self-discipline, and the wisdom to understand people. Now look all the way down at the absolute bottom, row number 12. Financial security sits dead last.
So why on earth is money placed at the very bottom? Hill actually connects this to the ancient wisdom of Socrates, who said, "Wisdom softens poverty and adorns riches." Hill's ultimate thesis is that those first 11 riches are the foundational bedrock. Without that solid foundation of health, harmony, discipline, and a positive mindset, financial security isn't just fleeting. Money can easily become a dangerous curse rather than a blessing. It is the positive mental attitude that allows you to properly utilize and actually enjoy the financial security when it finally arrives.
Which leaves us with one final, profound question from Hill's masterclass. When asked, who is the greatest person living at the present time, Hill's answer was this empowering twist designed perfectly for that mirror exercise we talked about earlier. The greatest person living is you. And if you don't believe it, he urges you to start telling yourself it's true immediately, because you have the unparalleled power granted by the Creator to control your own mind, shape your attitude, and become whatever it is you sincerely desire to be. The playbook is yours. How are you going to use it today?